All right, today we are going to have a question and answer session, a dialogue directly with Monsieur le Président. Students and lecturers who are coming today will have the opportunity to exchange ideas with His Excellency Emmanuel Macron.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the main session of our events today, the discussion with the President. This session will be structured to 8 questions and can be asked in English or French, but will be answered in English by Mr. President. Now we will mention your institution, name, and to the representative, please stand up and you can ask your question to Mr. President.
All right, for the first question will be asked by the representative from Universitas Gajah Mada. Please rise and kindly ask your question.
Monsieur le Président, enchanté. My name is Barani Hairu. I'm from International Relations in Universitas Gajah Mada, and I will ask my question in English. Okay, so one of the examples of French independence from all these superpowers that you've mentioned is that France can navigate its way between conflicting interests in the United Nations Security Council. So as a developing nation, I want to ask you, how can Indonesia, especially us as youth, can follow suit with France's independence in that field, and how can it actually help to address the crisis that is currently going on in Gaza? Je vous remercie.
Thank you for your question. I hope it seems to work. It's okay for you? It's okay? I'm sorry, because no panic. No, thank you for your question. Thank you, Mr. President, for your speech, and you're welcome. 2 things. First thing is about this independent diplomacy we have, which is indeed a French tradition, if I may say. But when we built this world order after the Second World War, some big countries allow France to be part of the Security Council of the United Nations as a permanent member, and we get access. And we are a nuclear power, and through this status, we were allowed in a certain way to have this independence, and we always preserved this independence vis-à-vis superpowers, and we have our own line. As for your country, I would say you have your own tradition of independence. And the example provided by Indonesia is a very unique one. Through your revolution, you provided and you started as the beginning of post-colonial era and the independence of a lot of countries in 1945, and 10 years later, your country launched as well a non-aligned approach of this world order and took the leadership of this another way to see the multilateral order, where all the countries are respected. So this is why I don't compare what is not comparable, but it creates in our history some linkage, some common points. But I would be very humble vis-à-vis your diplomacy and your country. You have your own history and your own tradition of independence. And this is why I do believe in the dialogue and the unique dialogue between Indonesia and France. As for Gaza, because you raised the question very genuinely in a certain way, taking just the example, but let's address, if I may say, the elephant in the room, because everywhere in our world, young people, and not just young people, are no more young, unhappily for me, but we are all shocked and traumatized by what's happening in Gaza, and this humanitarian crisis and the disaster. And if you allow me, I will try to tell you what is the French approach to this situation, and to try to embrace the whole complexity of the situation in Gaza. First, we did condemn the terrorist attack of Hamas the 7th of October 2023. It was one of the most aggressive terrorist attacks against Israel, and we lost a lot of our compatriots in these terrorist attacks. It was the biggest terrorist attack since 2016 for France. We did recognize the right of Israel to protect itself, to defend, and obviously to release all the hostages. And since the 7th of October 2023, we work very hard and we do support all the initiatives to release all hostages. Having said that, since October 2023, we asked for a ceasefire. Because if we did share the willingness to demilitarize Hamas and release hostages, we didn't share the approach which was to attack Gaza without any differentiation and attacking as well all the civilians. We asked for a ceasefire in October 2023. We organized the first humanitarian conference for Gaza in November 2023 in Paris. And since this time, we multiplied humanitarian initiatives with Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Emirates, and a lot of countries in order to provide aid, food, to support a lot of people and to try to rescue a maximum number of people. And in parallel, we did support all the initiatives to relieve hostages. Now, the situation is at a critical point. A few weeks ago, I was with President Sisi at the border of Gaza, in Al Arish. I saw with him a lot of people on the Egyptian soil, but coming from Gaza after surgery in awful situation. And I saw all the humanitarian aid being stored in this place without any access to Gaza because of the blockade. This is why our priority today is first, ask very strongly for a ceasefire. This is the emergency. Second, ask for the access of food, water, drugs, treatments, and all the humanitarian access. This is a total emergency. And this is the worst point since the beginning of the conflict. Third, the release of all hostages. Fourth, demilitarization of Hamas and withdrawal of Hamas from any political participation. And fifth, we will work very hard with Saudi Arabia because we have this responsibility given by the United Nations, and in June we will co-organize this conference for a two-states approach. Because we do believe that the outcome of this situation and the only way to fix this situation is not just through a security approach. This is through a political answer in order to provide the right of people to have a state and the mutual recognition. And what we will do is that we will trigger a movement of recognition for a Palestinian state under certain conditions: release of hostages, demilitarization of Hamas, no participation of Hamas, but as well the fact that this Palestinian state will recognize the Israeli state and its right to protect itself. And this is the only way. And your president this morning made a very important speech saying, the day Israel recognizes the Palestinian state, I will recognize Israel and its right to exist and protect itself. And the purpose of such an approach of dual and mutual recognition is first to say, the end of this crisis is not through war, but a political process. Second, the only way to have peace in Middle East is through a political process with this mutual recognition and the creation of what I would call an architecture of security, where each member will recognize the existence and the right of the other to protect itself. Obviously, we will add to that the fact that the Palestinian state will not have any army, and all the brothers and the brother states and all the neighbors will be in charge of securing it. I don't want to enter into too much technicality, but I can provide that and we will detail in the weeks to come. But this recognition is just a signal that we have to stop this war. We have to recognize the right of Palestinian people to have a state and the right for some other countries of the Israeli people to have the state, and both of them to live together in peace. And my point, and this is a very important one vis-à-vis you, is that you've probably heard a lot about the war in Ukraine and the aggression launched by Russia. And we are in total solidarity with Ukraine, because we do believe in the right of people to have their state and their territorial integrity. How can we defend such an approach if in Gaza we don't react? So we don't want a double standard. We do believe in the universality of our rules. This is why we have such a diplomacy and such an approach on Gaza.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. President, for the wonderful answer.